There's so many stories, further information starting to come about COVID and what's happening. A lot of it would appear to make things more confusing. Certainly, they're more surprising. They're more concerning. But let me just take a few of the things that are happening at this present time. Worldwide now, we're told that 2.3 million people have been affected from COVID, and that it's killed 163,000 people. 163,000 people worldwide. As you can imagine, that's a huge toll. In the United States, it's understood that 746,379 people have been infected, and that 41,379 people have died. Now, some of the modeling, as they call it, that is going on, and they're kind of touting as wonderful, is that they think only about 60,000 people will die according to this new modeling. I find that hard to believe, frankly. You're already at 41,000, and you've got many areas that are not even considered to have hit their peak yet. And now you're saying it's only going to be these few people? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You're still having issues about this testing. The testing is what is supposedly needed at a level for the evaluators, for the ones who do this kind of modeling, in order to be able to recommend that from the rates of infection, this kind of a thing, that an area is able to go more toward a normal course of work, contact between people, these kind of things. And of course, so many people, Donald Trump among them, are looking to get things back going instead of all of this isolation. To an extent, I can understand it. But you're talking about people who only think it's somebody else's life. It's not their own life that they are playing with, or at least they don't think so. You even have Donald Trump himself playing with the lives of people in the states that have Democratic governors. Whereas the modeling says you can't open up these states, Trump tweets out and is fomenting all kinds of people to object and to cause difficulties at state levels, protest, all of these things, so that you have disruptions that are happening within them. You have, of course, all of the political turmoil. Just because he's decided to go ahead and do it. Because the individual states that we're talking about, Michigan being one of them, they still don't have the testing that is supposed to be required in order to be determined whether it's safe for those states to go back into a more normal kind of mode. So none of this makes sense. I don't get it, how that somebody can continue to act that improperly and put people's lives at risk. I'm going to talk about a Canadian situation at another time. But you might look it up. The Heron Nursing Home. And at that nursing home, within a month's time, 100 and close to 50 beds, you had 31 deaths in 1 month. And then you had a mass evacuation, not by the patients, but by the employees, leaving almost no one there to take care of all of these people, leaving them in their own feces, leaving them without food for days, leaving them just sitting in their chairs, not put back into their beds, not cared for. It's horrendous, horrendous. Such that, of course, the police, and now the facility itself, being placed under trusteeship. So you might want to look that up and see what was happening there. I'll tell you a little about that another day. Take care, be safe.